Folks, we're gonna have it handled. In 21 days, the virus will be gone. 21 days.
As First Lady, I believe we need to fight against the cyberbullying. All of the people on the Twitter who are saying the bad things, we need to stop them. We need to make sure that they cannot carry on what they're doing.
Trump is the least shocking human being I've ever come across in my life. He is consistently being himself. The man is a cliched villain. Looks like a villain, talks like a villain. Like he looks like he should be in a Scooby-Doo episode.
I never thought I'd say this, but Kim Jong-un up against Donald Trump is a strange situation because you don't know who.
Trevor Noah just delivered a roast so fierce even Trump's hair might finally give up and fly away. He took aim at Donald's never-ending love affair with alternative facts, Melania's legendary side eyes that could cut glass, and the ongoing soap opera that is their public life. Meanwhile, in Mar-a-Lago, a golf cart may have been flipped, and a Truth Social rant is likely already in progress. Get comfortable, this one's going to be bigly.
Was President Trump's first instance
roast Trump and Melania. He deep-fried them in pure comedy gold. He shredded Trump's obsession with fake news, his Olympic-level blame dodging, and his gift for turning every crisis into a personal pity party. Melania, oh, she got torched too. From her world-famous eye rolls to dodging Trump's hand like it's radioactive, Trevor made it clear she looked less like a first lady and more like someone trapped in a 4-year hostage situation. By the end, you could practically hear a golf club smashing in Mar-a-Lago and an all-caps meltdown brewing online.
Time Donald Trump or Melania speak, it seems like they're throwing shade at each other. They're giving a speech, but they're actually talking trash about the spouse. Every time, all you have to do is listen to the subtext of what they're saying. And she was like,
as First Lady, I believe we need to fight against the cyberbullying. All of the people on the Twitter who are saying the bad things, we need to stop them. We need to make sure that they cannot carry on what they're doing.
Trevor Noah didn't hold back when it came to Melania. He painted her as the most unwilling first lady in history, the woman who mastered the art of blinking "help me" in Morse code every time a camera caught her. He joked about her robotic yet oddly regal presence, her infamous Be Best campaign that inspired absolutely no one, and her uncanny ability to look like she might disappear into thin air the moment Trump turned his head. She wasn't just in the White House, she was enduring it, one forced smile at a time.
America's president. Oh, he was even cockier. Yeah. You see him when he came out? Donald J. Trump? Oh, he had all the swag.
He was like, folks, we're gonna have it handled. In 21 days, the virus will be gone. 21 days. Some are even saying 20.
Social media did what it does best. It exploded. Memes flooded the internet with Trump angrily typing on his gold-plated iPhone and Melania hilariously edited into dramatic escape scenes. Comment sections turned into digital battlefields, with Trump's most loyal defenders charging in like medieval knights, while Trevor's fans cheered him on like he'd just won a championship belt in comedy. But beyond the laughs, there's a bigger question. Did Trevor just entertain, or did he strike a nerve?
It would be exactly the same even if he spoke Arabic. It would be like the same thing.
It'd be like, halalawa ratradara suklalawa. Yalawa laka. Batika shukran nalawa lela. Batika lelawa. Yalla yalla.
Because let's be real, Trump thrives on feuds, especially when celebrities are involved. If there's a headline, a controversy, or even the faintest whiff of attention, he's jumping in like it's a well-done steak drowning in ketchup. His history with late-night comedians, a tragic comedy in itself. From SNL impressions that sent him into 3 a.m. Twitter rants to stand-up specials that made him declare Hollywood a disaster, Trump has never exactly been a good sport about satire. He doesn't brush it off. He fires back with lawsuits, all-caps rants, and if he's really in the mood, a full-on campaign rally where he declares late-night TV unwatchable.
Mind of Donald Trump. Oh, the other idea he had for the wall was he said America should build the wall out of solar panels. That's what he said. He said America should build the wall
out of solar panels, because that way the wall would generate electricity and pay for itself. Yeah. Now I'm not gonna lie, that's a good idea, right? It's a good idea. Unless you know anything about solar panels or the sun or walls. Because the problem with that idea is that the sun is up. A solar panel wall is not going to work because a wall is like this. So technically it's facing down. So unless you have like a really swaggy sun that's like, yeah, I shine real low, B, it's not going to work for you.
So what's next? Will Trump pretend he never saw it while secretly fuming? Or will he jump on Truth Social to fire back, calling Trevor a failed comedian with low ratings, while somehow misspelling at least 2 words? And Melania, let's be honest, she's probably unbothered, sipping imported tea, staring out a window, and wondering what life would have been like if she had married a quiet billionaire instead. Meanwhile, the internet is feasting on this. Political satire has always been around, but Trump-era comedy? That's a whole new genre. Late-night hosts, stand-up comics, TikTok creators, everyone has gotten their share of Trump material. And why? Because the man writes the jokes himself without even trying. His speeches, his reactions, his completely unfiltered thoughts, they're pure gold for comedians. Trevor just did what everyone else has been doing for years, except he did it with the precision of a chess master setting up checkmate.
She just says it about whatever he's speaking about, and then she just keeps it moving. And I like that the clarification there was that, because she released a statement, and then people were like, is Melania going against the president? And then released another statement that says, no, this has nothing to do with the president. This has everything to do with LeBron and how good his school is. And I was like, really? That's all you're gonna say? That's all you're gonna... Because I was like, that is just a simple, that's a woman scorned in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, if you've ever grown up in a house where like 2 adults are fighting, that's pretty much what it is. Like, you'll be at dinner. I remember my aunt would do that to her husband. It's like everyone would be eating something, and then someone would go, like, one of my favorite lines was like, someone was dishing up some food, and then my uncle was like, no, he's like, don't put the gravy on top, put it on the side. And then my aunt was like, yeah, he likes things on the side. And then everyone's just like...
But here's the real twist. Do these jokes actually make a difference? Does another viral moment really change anyone's mind? Probably not. Trump's supporters won't suddenly start questioning their loyalty just because Trevor nailed a monologue. MAGA fans will call it out as Hollywood bias, while Trump critics will cheer like they've just won the lottery. Yet moments like these still matter. They spark conversations, they keep the political chatter going, and most importantly, they give people an outlet to laugh at the absurdity of it all. Let's face it, if we didn't laugh at the circus that is modern politics, we'd probably end up crying into our coffee every morning. So whether this feud fizzles out by next week or Trump keeps it alive with a rant at his next rally, one thing is for sure, Trevor Noah just delivered a comedic masterpiece. And if Trump responds, well, that's just more material for the next late night monologue.
I realized, like, the other day, I sing Trump's, like, just catchphrases in my life, like they're lyrics to songs. So I'll just be like sitting by myself in an airport, and I'll just be like, billions and billions and billions and billions and billions. And someone will walk past and be like, what song is that? I'm like, oh, that's just Trump talking about his money. And that's... It's like a weird... Like today he was talking about chain migration. That's his big thing, you know, and like because he doesn't want to, you know, pass the government funding bill. And he's like, chain migration. Chain migration. And like he always, it's so rhythmic. Like I realized he's doing a bad rendition of like a Bob Marley song. It sounds like a reggae song. It's just like chain migration, chain migration, chain migration, and our people chain migration.
Trevor Noah's takedown of Donald and Melania Trump may have sparked a wildfire on the internet, but this wasn't just another comedy segment. It was a defining moment in the never-ending saga of Trump versus late-night TV. As the world was still recovering from Trevor's sharp-cutting roast, the real entertainment was just beginning. With Trump, there's always a second act, and it usually involves him, a social media rant, and an unneeded dose of drama. Let's be real, Trump doesn't let anything slide. If someone so much as breathes a word that doesn't flatter him, it's personal. Late-night hosts have been roasting presidents for decades, but Trump treats comedy as if it's a personal attack. He doesn't have that Obama-like ability to laugh at himself, nor does he have the Bush-era charm to simply shrug off criticism. No, for Trump, every joke about him is a plot, a conspiracy, a deep state operation masterminded by the radical left.
Accused of lying about the value of his properties for decades to defraud the banks into giving him better loans, right? And these are not small amounts. They're not small amounts. For instance, Mar-a-Lago was worth $75 million. And what did Trump say it was worth? $740 million. How?
Because I upgraded it, folks. Yeah. Totally upgraded. I added a rec room. It's got a foosball table and everything.
He also claimed that his 11,000 square foot apartment was actually 30,000 square feet, which was a lie. So this man is going to be the first person to ever get in legal trouble for claiming his apartment is a grower, not a shower. And I've got to say, it would be so funny if this is what takes Trump down, huh? Can you imagine? He tried to overthrow the government, but then they get him for lying about having an in-unit washer-dryer. It's like, that's the thing that locks him up.
While Trevor's audience was still wiping away tears of laughter, Trump was probably already drafting his response. He'd likely turn to Truth Social, where he would unleash one of his classic rants. Those rants that start with fake news and somehow spiral into a bizarre mix of grievances, self-praise, and of course accusations of election fraud. Everything always seems to circle back to that, doesn't it? Or maybe, as another classic Trump move, he'd pretend he never saw Trevor's roast, only to accidentally bring it up during a press conference 3 days later. It's the perfect blend of acting like he's above something while still obsessing over it, unable to resist mentioning it over and over. And then, let's not forget the most dramatic possibility, a full-on rally response. Trump loves to use those rallies as his personal therapy sessions, airing out his grievances like that one uncle at Thanksgiving who's had a bit too much to drink. Nothing is off limits, and you can be sure he'd turn that crowd into a full-blown spectacle of self-defense and fiery rebuttals.
You in some way do use mockery, fake incredulity and exaggeration, that perhaps you're treading a fine line yourself?
I don't think so, because we are operating in the space of news parody and satire. When you talk about fake news, the biggest difference is it never tells you that it is fake news. We let you know from the beginning. We are on Comedy Central. I tell you from the very get-go who I am. There is no facade.
The crowd would erupt, and just like that, Trevor's monologue would become another chapter in Trump's history of perceived slights that must be avenged. Meanwhile, as Trump fumes and paces around his golden hotel suite, Melania is probably somewhere, completely unbothered. If there's one thing we've learned about her over the years, it's that she has perfected the art of selective ignorance. When asked about controversial topics, her responses are a mix of vague one-liners like, "I don't focus on the negativity," or she simply disappears from public view. She's like the world's most expensive ghost, visible only when absolutely necessary, but vanishing the moment the drama turns up. Trevor's roast likely didn't even faze her. Maybe someone casually mentioned it during brunch. Maybe she saw a headline while scrolling through her phone. Or maybe, as usual, she just pretended it didn't exist, the way she always does when Trump finds himself in the middle of yet another scandal.
Of America, if you want to win an election, all you need to have is a strange voice. Simple as that. You want to be president of the United States? Get a strange voice, you're done. Yeah, forget policies, forget ideas, that's boring. You come out there with a strange voice, the people love it. You realize there's been no American president who has a normal speaking voice, none. Trump, that was the weirdest of all. Every other American president was predictable. You know, you understood the ebb and flow. Trump, you never knew what to expect, right? The volume on his voice all over the place, inflection where it didn't make sense. Do you know how hard it was to figure out where to put the volume on your TV when watching a speech? Because you wouldn't know where it would happen. He'd be up there.
I think as Americans, we try and try, so try, big trying, all trying, and it is. But I know, and I think, if we can, what we won't, but we will, but maybe, but.
What?
But the best part? The Twitter fights. As expected, Trump's supporters weren't exactly laughing. While everyone else was enjoying the roast, the MAGA faithful were out in full force, calling Trevor a woke puppet, liberal hack, and my personal favorite, a foreigner who doesn't even get America. The irony of Trump's supporters suddenly caring about immigrants? Priceless. The comment sections turned into a battlefield, with insults flying faster than Trump tossing paper towels at a hurricane relief effort. And right in the middle of of it all, Trevor probably sitting back, sipping a drink, and watching the chaos unfold with a grin on his face. Of course, it didn't stop with Trevor. When one late-night host takes a swing at Trump, the others are never far behind. The Late Show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, and SNL all jumped in, each putting their own spin on the viral moment.
There's no marble, there's no gold. Where are the women in bikinis? And how would he even get there? There's no escalator. Come on, people. So the complaint about Trump is that he's unpresidential, and it stems from certain statements that he's made.
When Mexico sends its people, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
And you know what they say, when you assume, you're the best at assuming. Trump.
Kimmel, of course, mocked Trump's predictable outrage, joking that he'd probably try to sue Trevor for defamation and then forget about it halfway through the paperwork. Meanwhile, Stephen Colbert suggested that Trump would try to ban Noah from the US. You know, they're already prepping a sketch featuring another exaggerated Trump meltdown. It's the same old cycle we've seen play out for years. Trump does something, comedians roast him, he reacts, and then the cycle starts all over again. At this point, it's basically a scripted TV drama with too many seasons. But at the end of the day, does any of this really change anything? Probably not. Trevor's roast won't convince Trump's base to abandon him, just like Trump's inevitable rage posts won't stop comedians from mocking him. The drama continues.
If you liked Trump, voted for him, and you were happy with him, that also makes sense to me. But there were people who voted for him, and then when he did what he did, they were like, I can't believe he's doing this. I can't believe, I'm sorry, what can you not believe? Where have you been for the last ever? Huh? I didn't think that he would, you didn't think he would what? You didn't think he would what? Be him? There's no surprises with Donald Trump. That man didn't change, he didn't evolve, he is who he, what do you mean you're surprised? I just thought he would be a better president. Why? What gave you that inclination? The man is a cartoon villain. He looks like he belongs in an episode of Scooby-Doo. Like, he should be in that lineup.
What moments like these do accomplish, though, is keeping the conversation alive. They remind us of the sheer absurdity of it all and provide an outlet to laugh in a world where politics often feels like a never-ending circus. And for Trevor, well, this is just another highlight in a career built on sharp observations and fearless comedy. Trump may come and go from the political stage, but satire? That's forever. So while Trump prepares his next response, his supporters gear up for the next Twitter war, and late-night hosts get ready for the next round of jokes. The rest of us will just be here enjoying the show. Because love him or hate him, Trump has given comedians endless material. And at this point, the only question left is, who's gonna roast him next?